Good morning and a very happy Easter to you from the Peak District. Well, today is Sunday the 4th of April 2021 and I've come here to the beautiful town of Bakewell. Idyllically situated on the banks of the River Wye, Bakewell is a large settlement and only town inside the boundaries of the Peak District National Park. Its mellow stone buildings and quaint courtyards are a magnet for painters, photographers and sightseers alike. I crossed over the medieval five-arched stone bridge, which was widened in the 19th century. Well, it's nice being here at this time of the morning because there's not that many people about. But give it another couple of hours or so and Bakewell's going to be absolutely heaving, I guarantee that. I enjoyed a pleasant stroll down the riverside path. Soon I came to another bridge over the Wye, the Weir Bridge, also known as the Lovelock Bridge. The reasons for its name are clear. I continued down the riverside path until I reached the recreation ground, a huge outdoor space with great sporting facilities. I retraced my steps for a short way, but then walked along Granby Croft towards the town centre. Famous for its puddings, annual events, and for receiving royal charter as a market town in 1330, markets are still held every Monday in the town centre, and there is a thriving livestock market. Bakewell grew up around a cluster of thermal springs and wells that attractive Iron Age settlers, and in Anglo-Saxon times gave the place its name. It is mentioned in the Domesday Book as Bade Quella, meaning Bath Well. Along Water Street, I passed many of Bakewell's great shops. Reaching Bridge Street, I could see the National Park Visitor Centre to my right, but I turned left to visit arguably Bakewell's most famous shop. The Bakewell pudding originated back in the 1800s. It was created following a mishap by the cook at a local inn, who misunderstood the recipe for a strawberry tart and ended up topping her creation with a soft-set almond custard. This is the recipe used to create the only original handmade Bakewell puddings from today, which are made and sold at this very fine old shop, as well as a few other establishments in the town. Overlooking Rutland Square is Bath Gardens, maintained immaculately by Derbyshire Dales District Council's Parks team. The gardens have won the East Midlands in Bloom Green Space Award for horticultural excellence within parks and the Judges Award for quality and display. I walked onto Rutland Square, which is dominated by the Rutland Arms Hotel. Much of the building was covered in scaffolding on the day of my visit, but it will be reopening later next month when further lockdown restrictions are lifted. From Rutland Square, I walked up the hill towards the church. All Saints Parish Church, with its fine spire and unusual octagonal tower, has been a landmark on the hillside overlooking the town for over 600 years. The Saxons built the original church on the site, and the Normans added to it, but the present church dates from the 13th and 14th centuries, although a sympathetic major 19th century restoration by Gilbert Scott has added a magnificence to the already beautiful aspect of the structure. I absolutely love Bakewell. I think it's a beautiful town, and I spend a lot of time here, aside from during the pandemic, of course. But Bakewell is only 8 miles up the road from Matlock, where I live, and at some point, most weekends, I'll be in Bakewell, whether it's for a few minutes or whether it's for longer. I just love stopping here on the way to and from places. I just enjoy wandering around the town. It's a beautiful place. And if I ever have people coming to stay with me, I'll always bring them to Bakewell at some point, because I think it's a must-visit place for people who come to the Peak District. The Old House Museum is one of Bakewell's best-kept secrets. Built during the reign of Henry VIII as a tax collector's cottage, the building was expanded during the Elizabethan period as a gentleman's residency. In 1954, the Bakewell Historical Society was founded and saved the house from being demolished, and spent many years restoring it into today's historic museum. I just wanted to stop here and have a look, because 35 years ago I stayed here for one night. This used to be a YHA youth hostel, but I see it's a hostel of some sort now, so that's nice. But yeah, long before I moved to the Peak District, I stayed here on my very first holiday in the Peak District back in 1986. I spent one night in Bakewell. Nice to see that it's still being utilised as a hostel of some sort. Bagshaw Hall is a 17th century Grade II listed country hall on Bagshaw Hill, constructed by solicitor Thomas Bagshaw. Today, Bagshaw Hall is one of the most beautiful hotels in Bakewell. From Bagshaw Hill, I walked back down towards the town centre. Crossing the A6, I followed Bath Street to soon pass the Castle Inn. Beyond here, I crossed back over Bakewell Bridge. Turning right the other side, my way was along Coombs Road. Soon I could see the Brooklands, an impressive country house, but I was heading for the Monsal Trail. I am now at the start, or the end, whichever way you want to look at it, of the Monsal Trail. So I just want to do a very short section of the Monsal Trail today, and I'll be doubling back towards Bakewell now. The Monsal Trail is a traffic-free route for walkers, cyclists, horse riders and wheelchair users through some of the Peak District's most spectacular limestone dales. The trail runs along the former Midland Railway line for 8.5 miles, starting at Blackwell Mill in Cheadale and ending here at Coombs Road near Bakewell. Most of the route was opened to the public in 1981, with its 4 impressive railway tunnels reopened in 2011 by the Peak National Park. Well, this is a nice gentle stroll along the Monsal Trail. Perfect place for just a stroll. It's not strenuous. As I say, I'm only doing a very short section of it today as part of this walk. But whilst I'm here, I'd just like to say hello to Robert and Sandra from Monsal. I met Robert yesterday actually. I was just doing a little bit of my own shopping, and I saw Robert as I was on my way home, so good to meet you, Robert. So, as I say, they both live in Monsal, and I may have met them before because when I went to the film club in Monsal a few times, I may have met them, well, as I say, it'll be probably 16 to 18 years ago, but yeah, great to meet you, Robert. Soon I reached the old Bakewell station, which is about half a mile east of the town centre. It was opened by the Midland Railway on the 1st of August 1862. Being the nearest station to Haddon Hall, it was built in a grand style as the local station for the Duke of Rutland, over whose land the line had passed. The Grade II listed station buildings still survive and are still in use as a warehouse along with the platforms, but the gap between platforms have been filled in to facilitate the Monsal Trail. Just bumped into a couple of people I know, not seen them for years actually. Max and Jean, lovely couple of people. I knew them through work. Max in particular, one of those chaps that was always jolly. No matter how stressful his work got, he was always smiling and making jokes about stuff. What a grand chap. I can't remember how long ago he retired now, but the last thing he said to me before we parted and went our separate ways just now, he said to me, "I can thoroughly recommend retirement," he said. Talk about rubbing it in, you git. Great to see him. Lovely couple of people. Really nice to see them both. Another mile on, I was at Hassop Station, which is about 2 miles south of Hassop village. It closed in 1964, and the station building has since been converted to a bookshop and cafe, along with a cycle hire centre. I continued along the Monsal Trail, but I would be walking only a short distance before turning off. Okay, this is as far as I go on the Monsal trail for today. I'm going to take the path across here, which will take me back to Bakewell. This path was now taking me southwards, and the views across the Peak District were as fantastic as always. How lovely, look at that. Oh, that's probably the best view I've had of Bakewell today. Lovely. Right, let's head on down there then. As my path dropped down, I passed Holme Hall, a privately owned 17th century country house and a Grade 1 listed building. Okay, I'm back on the edge of Bakewell. Now, to get back to where I started the walk, the easiest way would be to go that way and walk beside the River Wye through Scott's Garden. But I just want to go across there because there's something very special just ahead of me. Holme Bridge dates from 1664, crossing the River Wye on the northeastern outskirts of Bakewell. It is a Grade 1 listed packhorse bridge and a scheduled monument. Nearby Lumford Mill was constructed by Richard Arkwright in 1777, and this attractive row of mill workers' cottages remains. An absolutely lovely spot. I've always thought this spot on Holme Bridge by Lumford Cottages is lovely. Even though you've got the busy A6 just there, it's just absolutely fantastic. Love this part of Bakewell. Heading back towards the town centre, I turned off the A6 to walk along Brook Side. Eventually, I was back at Bakewell Bridge, over which I crossed to end my walk at Scott's Garden. Well, that really has been an absolutely beautiful day walking around beautiful Bakewell. Perfect way to spend Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody.